today I really want to talk to you in broader terms as an elected European parliamentarian, as a British Conservative, and as someone who holds the faith of Islam to be very important in my life. But also, not least, as an enthusiastic free marketeer. It's often said that the British people are uncomfortable talking about religion, and it's true. It's as true of me as it is of any of my countrymen. When we had a Prime Minister who said that he wore his religion on his sleeve, he came in for lots of criticism. People thought that religion should remain in the private sphere. And I resist using my faith to ask fellow Muslims to vote for me. But equally, I've never sought to play down my faith in any way. I've fought all my elections, whether for local councils, for the London Assembly, for the House of Commons, for the European Parliament, as a British Conservative. I became leader of the European Conservatives Reformists, now the third largest and by far the fastest growing group in the European Parliament, as a British Conservative. In fact, I know I'm probably the first non-Christian leader of any political group in the European Parliament. But does that mean that my politics are completely detached from my faith? Of course not. I'm conscious that I'm speaking to a room full of politicians. All of you know that your personal principles and your political principles are partly informed by your personal values. And those of you who have faith will try, I hope, to behave as if there is a higher law. All religions teach us the sanctity of life, truth and property. And I like to think that we are better politicians, just as I like to think we might be better people if we try not to lie, steal or hurt others. Whether that is framed by having religion to give you a framework, or whether you're a humanist or you have some other higher principle. And that, to me, is what values mean. As I say, I am as diffident as any other Briton when it comes to discussing faith. So let me put it like this. I believe that in the end, we are all personally answerable to God for our actions. And I try to remember that sobering truth whenever I have to make choices, either in politics or in my personal life. I've always advised young, aspiring politicians, who I like to bring through the ranks, to be true to themselves. And for those of us who profess the faith, this means that whether we worship at a church, a synagogue, a temple, or a mosque, when we sit down and face our Maker, we have to be true to ourselves and to God. But the authority of God over man does not justify the authority of man over man. Virtue cannot be coerced. We must all make our own choices. The question I was once asked by a moral philosopher is, which is the most moral or more sincere faith? Is it the one when they hear the prayer to call on the Friday, who goes out of free will? Or is it the one who goes because everyone else goes and they are worried about seeming to be the odd one out? I say this as a Muslim, and I say it as a conservative. Free will is the highest faculty we have. And when it is denied, whether in the name of religious conformity or of state power, our humanity is diminished.